And welcome back to the Kiev Major Day number 2 of the group stages here. After an opening fantastic series from Virtus.pro, they are guaranteed a top seed as they move into the knockout rounds at the main event on home soil, no less as well, on Aram's 18th birthday. What a great birthday treat that is. They are safely through. There are 2 teams who are still waiting to find out who they will join, because they will also be a top seed on the other side of the bracket and therefore avoid Virtus.pro. Those 2 teams are IG and Team Secret, and they are going head-to-head in a few moments' time. Let's introduce you to a brand new panel. We've got Gods back with us. We've also got Melini here, and once more, Rose, Petal, Bouquet. I don't know. Why? Why do you keep changing names? I like 1437.
I changed it once. All right, and it was an NP special, you know.
It was an NP special.
Yeah,
okay.
we've retired that name now.
Okay, it is officially retired.
As of now. Okay,
right.
we've retired.
Does it matter
name.
what hair color you have, and then you change it to that?
No, doesn't matter.
Okay. So if you have yellow, you're not going with yellow for TI?
No.
No.
I'm sure it doesn't matter.
I think it does. I think these are the important
I
questions.
mean, there are purple roses.
That's true.
There's yellow roses.
Yeah, that's true. There's red roses, white roses.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we could do that. I'm hearing that the teams are already in the lobby, so we'll stop the nonsense here and start talking about the 2 teams. First up, let's talk about IG. Gods came in as favourites, delivered so far. You expecting the same thing again?
Absolutely. They've been phenomenal. They had to verse OG very early on in the Swiss format as well, which is where, I mean, you kind of got that rematch. Yes, they 3-0'd OG, but now you're playing at a major. You're playing against a team that's won 3 majors, so it was kind of, I think, a very big difference between that series and the series at DAC, but they've continued to steamroll through their matches. They've been very convincing, still kind of sticking to their picks, and it seems that no one's quite yet figured IG out and how to play against them.
Likewise, though, when we turn our attention to Team Secret, Melini,
They're
dark horses?
a bit of surprise, I would say.
So I think with Secret, you got to look at who they've versed. No offense to those teams, but they haven't been tested yet. Like VGJ have been kind of struggling. I think DC very good upset against Newbie and all that, but it's still not like Secret's played one of the top teams yet. Even though they're 2-0, they haven't had to verse OG, IG, or any of the big names.
Still surprised to see them at this point, though, on the verge of claiming a top seed?
I think so. I mean, the top seeds fighting right now are they're top 4, right? So Secret are technically top 4 in this tournament at the moment, which is a little bit surprising. At highest, I would put them like 5th to 6th. Didn't expect a 2-0, but as you mentioned, yeah, the seeding did work out quite well for them.
They've got to beat IG now, Rose. So end game for them. Is this the final boss?
Yeah, it really is the final boss. Like if we look at the top 4 that were going into today, they're all the qualifier teams from each region, and now you got China qualifier versus EU qualifier. So we're gonna get to see who's the best region in a way, right?
In a way, bragging rights at the moment anyway. God's mentioned that they haven't had the toughest route through, but they were impressive in the EU qualifier, which was a tough qualifier as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like they actually haven't, like this was the first tournament I guess they played since then as well, so they're following on with their streak. They haven't lost a game in like 15 games or something. And I think Secret have some really key strats that are very different compared to the other teams, and that's helping them win right now.
We'll see whether it comes up trumps against IG. In terms of the matchups, we've picked out the support players, Melini, because we don't often talk about the support. It's always about the carries and the mids and the offlanes. These supports are crucial to both teams.
I think Boboka got a lot of hype over DAC, but then they're like, oh man, Monkey King got nerfed. Earth Spirit's not as good. Is he really still going to deliver? But when we saw his Riki performance, that was incredible. That was one of the best Rikis I've seen. So I definitely did not think he was like a one-patch kind of guy, and he is consistently just been amazing on this position 4. And at the same time on Team Secret, we haven't seen as much from them. They didn't qualify for as many events as IG did or go as deep. But yeah, they have a very unique play style. Last picking PL, I guess, is we've seen a couple other teams do that, but they're just always different.
Yeah.
And Puppy, obviously, as a drafter, as a support player, is the one you'd have as a steady man in your team. It's great, isn't it?
It's important for like Secret and Puppy to have a good game since he's a captain as well. When you're a captain, if you're not having a good game, it's very difficult to make good calls. So Puppy is actually playing some unorthodox heroes like Bounty Hunter and Tusk. That's not like the top 4 roamers that we talked about. So
yeah, it's very interesting as well. We should also mention there are other supporters as well. I mean, 15 months ago, Team Secret support was the player of Shanghai Major. MVP of the whole tournament, Pilot. Been a bit quiet since, do you feel?
I think Secret as a team's been quiet maybe, so it's hard to have stand out as a 5% support when your team's maybe not getting the best results playing at big lands. That's where maybe Mid One's still in the spotlight. He's highest MMR plays 9.3k, 9.4k MMR now, saying ridiculous. But when your team's not going to lands, doing really well, it's kind of hard to stay in the spotlight for a player like Pilot, regardless of performance.
Okay, draft is on its way, of course, and let's talk about heroes, Stephen. In terms of the way that they draft, are you expecting Puppy to draft according to IG, or do you think they'll try and stick to their own way of playing?
I think they're going to stick to the key heroes that they've prepared for this tournament already. That's kind of different to the other teams, but they will be reactionary in a way. Like Puppy has so far shown 3 heroes that he's played: Bounty Hunter, Treant Protector, and Tusk. Treant, we can see him first pick it no matter what. That's what most of the teams are doing currently. But Tusk and Bounty, it's going to come down to whatever IG open with. So throughout history, this is Puppy's favorite way. He doesn't really like to show his hero right away unless he knows it's completely broken. And I think it's going to be more reactionary than it is them just picking only their strategy.
How do you think they address the bans? Because we talk about how do you ban versus IG, right? Monkey King generally going to be auto ban versus them. We talked about LC even being first phase ban. Magnus, we saw them use twice yesterday.
Well,
too.
Did you throw the Ricky in there as well now?
Yeah, that's true. LC has a very good win rate, but if we look at Monkey King, all right, he has
Doesn't have
4 wins right now. But do you know how many games he's played
22.
so far? 22.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's insane.
That's a sub 20% win rate.
But do you feel like that win rate really reflects the heroes? Do you think teams over-prioritizing him based on that, or do you think that's maybe just...
even if you over-prioritize it, having below 20% win rate is not okay. We've seen other tournaments, and in these tournaments, some hero could be overpicked because it's very popular, but it'll still have at least a 45% win rate.
Yeah, it's interesting. Secret's definitely shown a big array of picks for themselves. They've gone for the Death Prophet. They've had the PL mid you guys mentioned. So I think they're a team that is gonna be reactionary with some of those core roles. If they feel like they can go for the Death Prophet game, it's we can just 5-man Death Ball, and we've got this tree of Death Prophet. That's gonna maybe beat IG. So I think they're gonna look to utilize some of those core picks to perhaps catch IG by surprise.
Do you think there's anything that they'll prioritize? Anything that Secret think, actually, here's the key to winning against IG? Is there any 1 or 2 hero picks that you think that they'll make above everything else?
I don't really know what's Puppy's kind of got in his mind. That's just, it's hard to really say. I haven't seen enough of Secret. You know, it's one of those things where this is the first time they played in such a long time. Secret could have all kinds of strats up their sleeves. The people have been whispering about Death Prophet. I mean, we've seen one game here by Secret. Panel keeps talking about Pugna. There's all kinds of niche picks that can come out. Bristleback has made an appearance. It's 3-1 here. So there's a lot of different unusual heroes. And I think these are heroes which are very good to pick against teams like IG, teams like Newbie, IGV. These Chinese teams have played a ton of games on this patch, but they've been playing the same meta over and over again. So I think if you want to beat them, you don't want to just try and play their game, keep doing their picks. You need to do these picks, these weird picks you've been doing in scrims, these heroes that keep getting buffed over and over again that actually maybe have a place. And now's the right time to do it. It's the group stages. Not that you want to lose these games, but it's the perfect time to experiment, do something a bit different. We've seen it from VP. Lil even talked about they've just been trying stuff. They did the Skywrath mid. They did an offlane Lifestealer. You may as well be a bit more kind of out there with some of your drafts during the group stage.
Yeah. I think there are some key heroes for Secret. I think Abba and Enigma actually I think are pretty important for them. I think Enigma especially, I could easily see them going to OG strat with the Enigma and the Naga. Because during DAC, that was a strat that IG really, I think, didn't play well against at all. And normally we see IG actually ban out Naga in the first phase versus OG. But when was the last time IG lost pretty convincingly was during DAC, and I think he just struggled against that immensely.
And Alchemist.
But Alchemist has been nerfed way harder than
less
Naga.
of a priority hero now.
Yeah.
I'm also interested in Spectre, actually. Both teams really like that hero, and so most of the games I've seen it played, it's been quite impressive throughout this tournament. And as for IG, they really want to get their hands on Magnus, or if they could possibly do that.
Okay, let's talk about it the other way around in terms of IG.
Magnus.
Are they unbannable Are they unbannable? Because they've just seemingly got so many. You know, but Boca's got so many strong heroes. OP's got so many strong heroes. Is it impossible to ban them out?
I think you just need to figure out what cores they're going to pick, though. Like, is Burning going to play Lifestealer?
Right.
Because we saw there was this phase where they picked Lifestealer for him like every single opportunity they got, which is much easier to deal with. You know, they pick the Tusk a lot to counter it if you're secret, but you just don't really know where they're going to go for it. They use Lena a lot when it was really popular, and if you know that's coming, it might be a little bit easier to deal with. But sometimes you just do a complete change with like the anti-mage that we saw yesterday. It's like, oh god, we didn't see this coming at all, and they just got destroyed because of it. So I think now that Q has like varied up his picks so much, it's really hard to ban out, even harder than it was a month ago.
What do they prioritize, Gods, as bans?
I
What do
would
they
say
not want to
Magnus.
play against? The Magnus obviously
I
is
think
the
Magnus
big
is
one.
because it's not just like when you're banning Magnus, it's kind of like you're banning like a big pool of heroes because you're banning out the Empower carries. You know, you can still run heroes like Troll, Lifestealer, Spectre without Empower, but they're nowhere near this. They're not the same hero without them. Like some of these carries really shine when they've got Empower, and they just don't. They feel a bit lackluster without it. So I think the Magnus ban is the big one for me.
Okay, we are into draft number 1. 3 bans down.
Crystal Maiden ban.
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like Mag is going to be left in the pool.
Secret it could first pick it, but Kezu hasn't played it too often.
Oh, Ricky.
Okay, right back at you with your own stuff.
So Puppy must be very confident in his Ricky to be able to just take it like that.
Yep. It's also left the mag open.
Left the mag open, and something that IG would often open is like that mag Ricky. So you take away perhaps one of their stronger openers, although there's still a spirit for Boca among other things. But I think Puppy's happy to like kind of like give him that hero.
Okay.
So it looks like they're
Mag
going to step
LC.
away from the Mag. He can play Legion mid, OP, that's for sure. But they might save it for another point. Right now, they're just thinking about the laning stage and how Ricky, it's very hard for him to mess with the Legion commander. Smoke Cloud is good at a later stage, but during the laning, not so much.
Talking about win rates, some of these heroes, Venge, Legion Commander, 2 of the highest win rate heroes that have been picked a lot. Like they're both sitting around that 70 to 75% mark with like 10, 15, 20 picks.
Yeah,
so.
LC actually won the first 7 games it was used yesterday. It was only the last 3 that it lost, and it knocked the win rate right down. But yeah, it has been very effective.
The ABBA that we've seen for Kezu a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick like ABBA or Omni. Both are very good versus the LC, and both are really strong teamfight heroes for Kezu. I guess Enigma would have been okay, but much less appetizing with the Vengeful Spirit immediately picked up.
So I'm not sure who Secret have scripted against or anything like that, but if we look at DAC, IG played quite well versus Abbas. And I'm not sure if Secret have been exposed to that level of pressure whenever they played ABBA themselves.
No, they have not.
Right, so this could be a very interesting game, and perhaps just first 2ing ABBA like that could easily be punished by a team like IG, who's quite experienced.
I think they need a Kezu's hero, though, because Kezu typically gets banned out in like the first or second phase. He's mostly targeted with the bans, because his pool, I think, is a little bit smaller than the other people's, at least what Puppy likes to pick for him, not necessarily what he can play.
Right, and the Venge pick can be in multiple roles. You normally don't want to lane against ABBA because sometimes some teams just pair it up with like a Keeper of the Light or something to try and pressure the lane, and the Vengeful Spirit isn't so good then. But I think IG will wait till the very end to expose whether it's going to be a support or a core, and that will make their lineup very open. So
More bans onto Baboka. So
right,
yeah.
Earth Spirit.
Earth Spirit, Ricky, Treant, Monkey King, they're either banned or picked, so those are the kind of heroes that
What does he have left? He has like a Slardar that he's
Slardar,
played.
yep. He's played Winter Wyvern. He had a really good Winter Wyvern game at DAC.
Okay.
If you want to, I mean, right now it doesn't look like a Winter Wyvern game, but that's kind of more a counter pick.
Still has a Rubik. He's played plenty of Rubik. A little bit of Ogre.
He also played like support Nexus Assassin too, although not particularly good this game.
Sand King
King.
actually is probably one of his other good heroes.
I mean, he could easily just be playing Venge this game.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think his role is that important that he needs a specific hero on it this game.
Definite focus though.
So last time they ran Venge, it was with the SF, and Burning played more of a support role in just buffing up the SF and making him Superman. But they don't necessarily need to do it this game, although it would synergize well with the physical damage that they have already. So you mentioned the Keeper that they used in the pressure lane with Abba. Not gonna be here.
Yeah, this will give him more flexibility to get that Vengeful as a core hero, for sure.
Do you think that Riki is still first pickable without the Magnus?
Well, Team Secret thinks so.
Do we get a Magnus ban?
But do you think so?
I don't see why not. I think Riki on his own is just a very strong vision hero. He can do a lot of things even without the damage amplification from Magnus or anything like that.
Are you surprised it wasn't banned?
Yeah, I'm very surprised actually. There's still a chance that IG can pick the Magnus and have the Legion commander go mid. I think it's a good strategy, and Secret might not be expecting that at all.
Feels like in some ways Secret's idea was, hey, we'll leave Magnus and Legion there because then we don't have to waste bans. Like, you ban both, you give them perhaps Legion means you don't have to waste a ban on Magnus, or if they take Magnus, you didn't have to waste a ban on Legion.
I think they expected a Magnus pick though after the Riki, just because they almost always take it when it's available.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess IG thought like, okay, we don't really want to give them what they expect us to take, and then we're just gonna go for this Legion commander that we believe in strongly. It's very powerful laning hero, and that's actually IG's biggest priority. Even if they do take this mag, they think a lot about how their lanes will play out. They don't want to be losing any lanes. They want to be able to apply pressure and keep up a high tempo game.
Because when they play Magnus, they jungle a lot on him. They actually go very, very farm heavy on XSS, which I think Riki's like really good against, and probably why they're like, okay, we're okay with giving away Magnus if we get the Riki. But LC, like as you mentioned, you can't pressure him in lane. LC doesn't have the jungle at all, and it's also incredibly strong for the 5-man, which Riki may struggle a little bit against.
Right, and they also have the opportunity to just go safe lane with the Legion and go aggressive.
Gonna go back for OP's Lina.
Yep. This also could still be a support, possibly. Very unlikely in this case, but I like Lina against Abba actually. Since she has very high burst and long range, she can proc his ultimate from a far distance, and whenever you proc Abba's ult, that's when he becomes extremely weak in the team fight, without being already committed onto you.
Ooh. Do you see the TA counter pick and like suddenly consider putting Lina support though?
Yeah, it's a direct counter to Lina, but I've seen IG draft, and normally for their mid player, they don't care if he's getting countered or not. They think about how they can play the game to make up for that. There are times where they would like first two Tinker, not ban Nyx and Clockwork, and let the enemy have those heroes anyway.
Yep.
And they'll still win these games. So they have a Templar, but they might think about, okay, how can we pick another support that can just rotate to the Lina's lane, and we're just going to kill this TA and take her tower. And this is a kind of thought process that they'll have instead of just like backing off and be like, okay, this has to be a support Lina. It's very interesting to think like what goes through these players' minds when these heroes are picked.
Oh.
See, now they're thinking like, okay, they have a TA. If we send a Pudge there with Rot, what's her refraction going to do? She gets hooked and dismembered. What's the TA going to do?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A nice hero to deal with the TA. And it's funny how IG just, I mean, not maybe a hero Baboku is super well known for, but they take a lot of heroes like from their counterpart team IGV, because this is one of like Dogfight's most played hero, and similar with like the Riki. Like they seem to have like almost identical hero pool between these two players.
Dota's come to a point where teams will look at each other and they will instantly try to copy or adapt and learn the strategies that the other teams are playing. And if you don't, then you're definitely going to fall behind. And right now I'm like thinking, wow, well, what's Baboka going to do with the Pudge, you know?
I think if IG and IGV hadn't been at the same tournament, I'd be starting to check someone's passport that they weren't actually the same player playing for both teams, but that isn't the case. As you rightly pointed out, guys, the hero pools just seem insanely close.
I feel like Pudge does pretty well against Abaddon as well. Like, you can hook him out of position, you can force like a kind of questionable ulti maybe, or...
If we look at pub win rates, Abba is very good versus Pudge.
Okay.
Because you have the shield to remove and you have like a lot of sustain, stuff like that. But in a competitive environment, it's not something that we've seen, right? Like how a Pudge and Abba can interact.
Let's have our Shadow Shaman. It's the fourth time we've seen one here at the Kiev Major. It hasn't won yet, though.
He's a very powerful laning hero. Has a very high HP, high damage, and he can also provide some tower threat and lockdown. It's pretty much like has a little bit of everything. So
interestingly, Pudge has been picked 4 times already here in Kiev and has won all 4.
Was it 4 games? Yeah.
I'm surprised that they picked Shadow Shaman over someone like Jakiro, though. I think like if they want a tower push, I think Jakiro's a lot stronger, just because I think the Hex and the Shackle are just both awful versus Legion. Like it's I think it's really tough to be able to do anything as Shadow Shaman in this game.
They're perhaps good in the laning stage though. Like if you're worried about Legion, just like bullying your carry, like as far as supports, like Jakiro doesn't do enough damage to zone a Legion, whereas Shadow Shaman maybe does, assuming it's Legion solo. If Legion has a partner, then it's very different. But
yeah, they don't know who to save.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. Like they just want a support that can one-on-one this Legion and like try to salvage something. So now Secret have to pick the 9th hero, and IG can decide whether they want the Venge to be a core or support in the situation.
We've seen this MP Lycan before. It felt like a game where the hero kind of did its job. Like it was good at taking objectives. The like the constant push, sustain was nice, but it wasn't like a flashy hero. But it did manage to get the job done. I think against a team like IG, it's going to be a very different test for how Lycan works right now.
It's really tough versus Legion, though. They played this exact same matchup versus VCJ.
We get a Sven to finish things off for IG.
Oh god, they have no magical damage.
That's Sven's like really good versus the Lycan. He has the armor bonus for his team, and it's all like you said, it's all physical damage really.
Yeah, they have no
TA,
magic damage.
Serpent Wards, like every bit of damage coming out is really physical right now. So
and I like how fast they can play.
Okay, predictions time. Gods, you are in the cursed chair.
Yes.
So just be careful with this. There's a lot of power with that chair. It comes with responsibility.
Oh god, I'm gonna screw one of these team streams. I'm
who
going
you
with IG.
for?
I think IG are good enough that I can't curse them as well.
Okay.
That's
The uncursable IG. Okay.
Yeah,
Gods
like
goes
their
for
draft
IG.
too.
Melini?
I put IG to win this whole tournament, and I would put IG for this game. I would probably pick them regardless of the draft.
All right. Steven?
Okay, I guess I'll go with IG. You know.
Okay.
My mind tells me Secret because of the first chair, but I'll go with IG.
Your mind tells you that. And the curse tells you that. Okay, it's a clean sweep for our panelist members. They've all gone for IG. Can they pull out a win against the dark horse so far of the tournament? Team Secret, let's head into game 1 with your commentary team, Purge and OD Pixel.
Thank you very much, Paul. And indeed, we're getting ready for the second series of the day here on the mainstream. Secret versus IG. I thought maybe we'd turn up today, Purge, and it'd be like, it's just the same picture as yesterday. It's more variety. Obviously, a picture would have seen if you've been watching the other streams. But we're getting Sven, we're getting Lycan, Shaman from Secret. What's going on, Kevin?
Yeah, just as the meta is starting to settle a little bit, we're seeing these random picks that come out, and it's kind of fun to watch. A little bit of spiciness every time. It's exciting to see Shadow Shaman picked after finally patch after patch after patch not being played with. But,
I mean, what's been the problem with Shaman?
There's better heroes. His ultimate's kind of hard to utilize. It's good at pushing buildings, but against heroes it's kind of bad. So there's some fixes with it in some ways. It's trying to be... I think the way that they changed it, it's more of a... it gets split shot with an Ags, which is better against heroes, whereas if you would buy the Ags before, it'd just do more damage, so it'd be better just killing towers, kind of. So... not to mention the hero's better at zoning now, way more damage, lower range. It's a lot of good trade-offs.
Look at this here, IG with the level 1 smoke. The stun locks there onto mid one. He will have the Aphotic Shield to help him out a little bit. Refraction is not going to cut it against the Rod of Baboka, and IG pick up first blood for burning here with a very, very strong smoke. I mean, these 3 heroes together, there's so much killing potential.
Yeah, like Rod level 1, permanent 30% slow. Usually it takes like 4 or 5 heroes to get a kill, but with 2 stuns to guarantee the gap close for Baboka, and then walk them down. Easy kills. Really do like the IG draft a lot. It just feels like it can do so much. They have tons of disables. They have tons of gank options. It's looking really strong.
Yeah. What kind of secrets you mentioned, Shaman being a hero that we don't see as much because normally there's kind of better options. It feels like in terms of the carry position, Sven's sort of that hero as well. There's a lot of games where we don't see Sven because there are better options, but burning picking it up this time round. What makes Sven the pick, do you feel, that for IG this
I
game?
think like what the panel covered, basically, there's a ton of physical damage coming from Secret, and just by popping Warcry gives the team 20 armor for 8 seconds. That's a huge amount of survivability, especially for heroes like Pudge and Lina. Normally have to buy an armor item themselves to be survivable, but now against a Lycan and a TA, everybody can be survivable. And Sven did get some little buffs. I think the one big difference is the -8-second Stormhammer cooldown. That puts it down to a 5-second AoE stun cooldown. That's going to be really valuable ultra late game.
Look at this again, bottom lane, IG getting in close and personal with Kezu, bringing them down to less than half. Puppey will be there to force them back. IG ready to get very aggressive on this bottom lane. We'll see if that kind of forces Puppey to stay around, or if Kezu will just simply have to play safer, as there is a lot of killing potential here from IG.
He's going the right way. He just needs to approach from the side, see if the enemies are still here. Yeah, all 3 heroes are still here. Maybe they kill
got
Puppey
the sentry
here.
down.
He's going to have to mango for it.
He's going to be out of range of the sentry, though. So unfortunate for IG, they don't get the connection with the Stormhammer.
That was a huge mistake from Burning, actually. Costing him a mango and a stun, and he got no follow-up. I didn't think he was going to go for it, because Pudge was too far to catch up, and the Venge stun caught him right at the edge, but they were probably already planning to go for the Puppey kill if he did approach there, so just a little bit of a mistake. Rare mistake from Burning.
Up on the top lane, XXS dealing with both Pilot and MP. Already CS-wise not getting too much in this lane. Do you feel he's going to be alright up here, or is the Shaman strong enough to harass a Legion out the lane?
Yeah, this is actually a rare case where Legion is not the best at trading hits, just because Lycan is really good at right-clicking. He's got a poor man's of his own, bonus damage from Feral Impulse, and Shadow Shaman hits for 71 base damage on average right now with no items. So that's a pretty good trade. Not to mention Aethershock is amazing level 1 skill for zoning, 140 damage for 95 mana. Really good. He will still get some farm in that lane, though. In the mid lane, TA, how's she doing? 7-6 versus OP 7-1. So they're both hampering each other's progress just a little bit here.
On top lane, we see Bai just consistently just running XXS back towards his tower.
Kind of. He's still there, though.
He still keeps coming in on
experience.
very minimal health. XXS, no fear at all. He is out of regen now, though, so we'll have to back up. We'll see Pudge take the lane, get himself a bit of XP, Baboka, and see what he can find. Pai is low on mana, so feeling a little less threatened by the Shaman, but there we have it, those 71 punches coming through.
Yeah, so they already used Shrine for Legion Commander. He's now going back to base to get a full heal, and in the meantime, Pudge rotated in. So I like that IG planned this perfectly, and that Baboka was there at the exact moment when Legion was about ready to leave. That way they could guarantee they both get the experience if needed.
Down bottom, Puppey. Just keeping eyes on the pools being made by Q, sapping some of the XP out.
Yep, and interrupting the large camp so it doesn't connect. So that should push the wave now, guarantee some experience gain, limit what that sentry would do as well. But he hasn't really accomplished that much, kind of similar to what Pudge just did. It was cool what they did, didn't really give him a lot, but maybe they'll fish for an opportunity in a bit. And they could maybe do that against OP as well. This is a good timing here. He doesn't actually have stun on Lina.
He does have the sentry down though, so could be hard for Puppey to get in on the mid lane. And looks like he's actually going to...
He's looking for a courier anyways.
Yeah, potentially.
Or going to the top lane. No, he's prepping for top rune, actually. That's the one that most people go for anyways, so why not go for the rune that Lina's likely going to check, and maybe they can kill him there. He's got level 2 as well, so they will have a smoke screen at least. And they don't yet know. The problem is that mid one's so low in HP that it's kind of dangerous for them to do a fight, so I guess Puppey will just rotate for the bounty instead. Yeah, it's difficult for Puppey to find somewhere where he can actually help right now. Him not being able to pressure the tri-lane was difficult. He can kind of poke on the Lina, but he's got to wait until mid one gets his bottle, and he's just getting it now, so he didn't have that opportunity. I guess top is the way to go now. Now that Pilot actually has full mana, this is the place they can get a kill.
Yeah. Baboka is going to be there with XXS, but it's the 3 versus 2. Depends who gets the jump on who. Baboka at the moment just taking down some of the walls that MP was using to scout out the Pudge's movement. So. Yeah. That's a little bit of micro there to make sure the Secret know where Baboka's moving to.
That's definitely the hero I'd gone. Pudge is a lot easier to kill than a poor man's shield 3 armor Legion Commander. So Pudge hopefully is with the initiate on. I don't even know if they see him. Puppey
I think Puppey saw them walk over. I'm actually saying that they are going to go on to the potentially harder target, looking for XXS. He's got that bonus movement speed and impact. Puppey's the one hooked under the tower, and IG will beautifully turn that round, and maybe at the end of the day, as you mentioned, Pudge, would have been a bit safer to go on the Pudge.
And even then, they really mis-executed. Puppey made a big mistake there. He needed to put the smoke cloud down as the shackle ended, because XXS instantly casted overwhelming odds and got a movement speed bonus.
He
might die
still
here,
get the kill. Yeah, he's walked back into a shackle. The movement speed's not going to save him this time, and
Okay.
And a bit of stroke of fortune there for Secret. XXS gets a little too confident, coming back in very, very low on health.
I think that was just a smart skill build choice from Pilot Eye here. Rather than get 2 points in Ethershock, he got 2 in Shackles. Gives him 80 more damage and another 0.75 seconds of Disable, which ended up being enough to get the kill. Whereas 1 Ethershock wouldn't have killed him, certainly. So, nice pressure there. Either way, Puppey having some trouble making his roam effective here. Goes back to the top lane now. We'll hopefully get a kill, but picking up level 3 now.
Yeah, he's picked up a smoke as well, so maybe hoping to get Pi involved with some sort of movement. Maybe even looking towards the mid lane. We see the Lina, backing off, clearing up some of the camps in the jungle. CS Spies for the 2 mid laners. TA, of course, getting a bit more of a break. Mid 1, getting that space with Legion, with the Lina heading into the jungle. Stacks. We've got the stack already being created up towards the north on Secret's half of the map. So the Ancients will be there for mid 1 to feast upon. And, a massive Ancient stack, in fact, over on the side of the Radiant for IG. I mean, imagine what that's being scaled up to give over to Burning. Yeah, he's already got the 3 points in the cleave. That's going to be a huge amount of gold for this Sven if they're able to take that safely without Secret getting their nose in there.
Yeah, he can definitely do it soon. I mean, he's almost 6. He's going to go Mask of Madness. It's one of the best attack speed items in the early game. Does give him -5 armor, but it's pretty easy to use on Sven. You can use ulti, Warcry, and then pop it and easily initiate without fearing of using the silence. So, or casting his spells in the meantime. So he'll clear that pretty soon, and he'll clear pretty fast too when with Vengeance there as well.
I think we're going to see Q go for another stack potential. He's got to get the timing bang on for this. Can he do it? Get that extra bit of gold. I think he's got it, hasn't he? He has. Oh, look at that. That's a lot of gold, Purge. I don't know the maths, but that's, and as you said, we could very well see Burning move over there soon to make sure that they do secure it. There is a TA on the other side. It would obviously be very hard for Secret to steal it from them, but...
Yeah, I mean, TA is great at Ancient Aim, but definitely not this early in that kind of position on the map. It just wouldn't be safe. The place that everybody teleports to.
He's TP'd straight to the shrine and getting in, Here we go, mid lane though. So it's going to be where the aggression comes through from Secrets. They move in with the Shackles onto Lina. They're now going to move over to the Ancients. They're actually going to find Burning doing this. This is a perfect time for Secret to come across. They know what's there. I mean, even though with that knowledge, can they do anything to stop him? I guess they can slow him down and make sure during this God Strength he doesn't.
That's huge, actually. I mean, it only lasts for 25 seconds, and he's only going to get like 5 to 10 seconds of it.
He's not going to be able to finish it with this one.
Yeah, all that took to mess it up was just a run past, just a little drive-by, and now he's going to jungle the whole thing so much slower, and in fact, like half as fast.
They do get a kill on Pai, though, who was AFK in the river, but Boke on the high ground just hooks him straight up, and well, they get the Shaman. Bit of a freebie. OP's going to come across and help, so even though they don't have the God Strength, just pulling in the whole team to make sure that Burning is still able to finish this off at the end of the day. He's falling incredibly low, though. Does still have the Shrine, and they will get it, but indeed at a lot slower of a pace than they would have hoped initially.
That was really effective for Secret, considering that they also got OP and a kill there. It just got so easy when they used Shackle on Lina. I mean, Lina's certainly vulnerable to right clicks, but throwing in a little bit of Disable on top, that just makes everything cake. And in the meantime, Pilot Eye finally getting some needed levels. I mean, he's been sacrificing heavily for his team, only now having brown boots. So now he gets levels in the lane, as long as XXS doesn't deny everything. And hopefully for him, a faster level 6. So I feel like he's been sacrificing for the team, doing more, whereas Puppey's kind of just been walking around the map for 8 minutes. Puppey has picked up level 5 at least, so he has at least accomplished some really solid leveling.
Yeah, Mask of Madness complete now for Burning on the Sven. We'll be interested to see where he goes from this. And do you feel that for Sven, Mask of Madness, is it like an item you have to buy? Or?
I don't think you have to buy, but it's definitely super good right now. Just because Echo Saber was generally the item before. You'd go like Tread's Echo, maybe with a Blink Dagger, into a BKB. Echo's still good, but Mask of Madness is quite a bit cheaper. Echo Saber is something like, what, 2,500 gold? 2,650, I believe, and Mask of Madness is only 1,700, so you're shaving off 800 gold there, and it arguably gives you much better attack speed.
Yeah.
It gives you definitely better burst. Echo Saber is great for the first, like, 3 to 4 hits. It gives you more attack speed, probably, but over the course of 8 seconds, Mask of Madness is way better. Yeah. And Mask of Madness is way better farming, too, because it gives you sustain.
For sure.
Which Echo Saber doesn't.
Yeah, make sure you're... Which is very good against these heroes like the Riki. You don't want to be low health jungling with Puppey moving around the map.
Exactly. Less mana this way, but considering it's only 25 mana to cast Mask, it really solves a lot of what Sven needs.
Yeah, we can see this for MP constantly using the wolves to just follow around the members of IG. Yeah, we saw in there just keeping it on Burning, making sure that they know where this burning Q movement's coming from.
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually. AUI was talking about this yesterday. He actually doesn't like getting max wolves right away. He goes more for Howl and Feral Impulse to buff up his team's HP during the night times. That way they don't die as often. But the faster you get level 4 wolves, now he can use it for vision. It's something that Lycan consistently did in the past. But cool to see it happening again, despite the other good skills.
And top lane Pi does
Oh,
manage
hook
to TP
misses.
out in time. Mid lane's going to be where the go's made. OP goes down to the Mail Strike of Mid One and Secret. Can they look for more? They got the trap slow onto Baboka. Mid One, Puppey, and MP looking to dive down. A second Mail Strike. Mid One picks up the double. Can they get Q as well? They've got to be careful now of XXS TPing in. Puppey hiding himself with the tricks of the trade. Pi turns up though in time with the shackles, and they'll get themselves a third triple kill for Mid One as Secret just swarm IG in the mid lane, and they just throw body after body at them.
Yeah, this is the period of the game where Secret's physical damage heaviness is really effective, because if Sven isn't there taking a team fight with Warcry, there's nobody that can make Pudge tanky or Avenge tanky or Lina tanky. These guys are dying really fast to heroes like TA and Lycan.
And there we have as well, talking about Lycan. The second Mask of Madness in this game being picked up, MP having it. Something that we were kind of talking about yesterday absolutely makes sense as well on this hero, doesn't it? It does so much.
You cast your wolves, you cast your howl, you cast your ult, and then you just run in and attack really rapidly. And the minus armor is not that big of a deal because you can usually just run away if things get iffy. And his overall farm speed when he's just hitting creeps is so much faster than traditional builds like Medallion, maybe Armlet. Armlet's still a super value item, but just getting around the map faster and having the full sustain is really good on this hero. So it looks like IG's going to be grouping up, trying to pressure mid. Pudge is going to have to land a hook on an important hero. I think that's going to be crucial to these fights. If you can grab Shadow Shaman and get him out of position, that could change everything. Even the TA hooking him in would be great because he can also rot off the refraction.
Yeah, Mid One just being very careful with his position, and absolutely has to be with these four heroes there. Again, though, these wolves, consistently giving all the information Secret needs in terms of how many are in that mid lane looking to pressure, and allowing Secret to have this read of the map where they can afford to have Kezo moving incredibly aggressively down on the bottom lane. IG will still go in onto the tower. The fortification comes out. Mid One spooking them away with the refraction and the slow. Has the haste rune. Won't look to chase though. Just it keeps them off the tower.
And as soon as he presses God Strength, they just glyph it. Stops Mask of Mana, stops God Strength, and IG's full push is kind of just countered with one hotkey. Kind of a mistake. It was good that they showed up, but Secret played that last like 15-20 seconds so much better. And immediately after, when they back, Secret smokes because they know that IG's going to back off. They're going to go to the jungle. They're not going to have God Strength. This is the perfect time to fight here. And if they can win a fight, they can take the tier 1 as well. This could be huge for Secret if they win this.
Let's see if they get away with this. They're saying that, Mid One's got that blink as well, so he's ready to jump in deep and back these guys up. They'll find Burning. Warcry just about to wear off as well. They drop the smoke screen into the shackle. He will be hooked by Baboka, Burning, chased down by MP, and there's the blink 4 from Mid One. Dives behind the tier 1, instantly picks up a second. Secret with some very, very tight, cohesive teamwork here in these early 13 minutes of the game. The wards are dropped, the fortification is there, but they should still get this tower, no problem. Bottom lane, Kezu could be in trouble. Q and XXS eyeing him up. They'll go for the duel straight away, but he still has the borrowed time, so the duel win won't be successful, and it looks like they won't even get the kill. Puppey's there with the smoke screen to make sure that IG can't chase him down. And at the end of the day, Secret getting 2 kills and an objective, and not losing anything in return. And Mid One, okay, he's diving deep. Maybe a little too deep. Baboka's there with the hook. Now, tricks of the trade. Baboka's trapped in the tree line. XXS in as well. Could be in trouble. Mid One has the Aphotic Shield on him, trying to get himself out. XXS going for the chase down. Doesn't have the duel, but the Laguna Blade comes through from OP. They bring down Mid One. Burning with the God Strength, looking for Pylai Die, but Pylai Die turns him into a chicken, looks for the die, and Pylai Die! He gets the deny off there as he hexes up, walks into the creep camp. But at the end of the day, it's still great for IG. They managed to get 3 because they got Mid One as well. It was getting a lot of flow, a lot of big, kind of a good lead in this game.
Yeah, the crucial thing that IG did there was when they felt pressured, they got into the trees. So it made it a lot harder for Secret to engage, hit the heroes that they wanted, and escape afterwards. So they overly committed to some of those heroes. They kind of played it safe, but they just got caught repeatedly. The hook shot, or the hook on the TA was massive as well, got him into the trees, broke his refraction charges. If you don't have to work through refraction charges, the game just becomes so much easier. And then because they were overdived, Burning got to hit from the side, killed a Shadow Shaman first. Just really nice plays from IG
But he
there.
didn't get the kill on Shaman in the end.
He didn't, but
he still forced him to kill himself.
Exactly, and he's no shackle on a more important hero to try to allow TA to get a double kill before he goes down. That kind of stuff is massive.
Yeah, what do you think about this from Baboka? I know Midas is all the rage at the moment, but Tranquil straight into the Midas. No sort of mobility item for this Pudge.
Yeah, I think it's okay here. It's obviously Midas is very popular right now, and there are some other builds that are really effective sometimes. I like something like a mix of mobility items with the Blade Mail. I think is really smart on Pudge. But just grabbing the Midas first, I think it's worth it. You basically already have a Force Staff with Meat Hook if you land them. He's definitely missed quite a few this game. Maybe playing a slightly ineffective Pudge, but I think he can get away with this, and it helps guarantee that those other really important Pudge items that are game-winning, like Aether Lens, Force Staff, stuff like that, Blink Dagger, all of those items are so good on Pudge. And the faster he hits 20, you get the GPM perk to buy those items, and the faster he gets his Midas, just accelerates all that. So I think it's worth it on Pudge, definitely.
Ooh, IG with the smoke, ready to go. Ults are available, God Strength there. I believe did the walls maybe scouted out that? They have. I believe some of the walls just died. It looked very close, but I mean, Secret is still sticking down it. Burning. Actually, just going to run straight in and dispatch of these wards. I mean, it's a fair bit of gold, and you're stopping them from getting a tier 2. So Burning will be happy with that bonus. What is it? Yeah, 37 or so per piece. And that's quite a bit of a chunk.
And the other aspect was that Secret wasn't actually hitting the tower with their heroes because they knew there was a threat of getting initiated on. So they let the tower, the wards do the work, and that's why Burning came forward to reveal himself. The Pudge already kind of revealed the gank. So Secret backs off from that. They commit wards, they lose wards, but not a big deal. That's what they're for. Drop them at towers, hit the buildings.
And we can start to see IG looking for more of those plays. XXS in the middle lane, very close to having the blink complete. Bottom, Pi and Kezu eyeing up Burning. Can the two of these actually kill him? That's the question. He's pretty tanky. And bring him down to half health, and looks like it would just be the Rasmus out lane. He's actually ready to turn. Kezu does have borrowed time, just pops in immediately. And looks to get himself out of there. Burning continues to chase, does have backup on the way. And getting those procs, trying to slow him down. It looks like he will hold back. The rest of the team couldn't quite get there in time, and at the same time, elsewhere, mid one managed to find the jump in and get a quick solo kill onto Q.
That's a big kill. Does go for Blink before Deso. Maybe a little unexpected there for Q. But nice pickup. Kind of interesting to see Birdie's build. He's going... he went S and Y, now he's going to BKB. He also grabbed the Talent Tree perk, the mana one, which is interesting. It's another way to get around the problem of skipping Echo Saber. He doesn't have to necessarily buy it for the mana pool. So I think it's making it work pretty well. And just the S and Y plus Mask of Madness, he's going to be really fast now, and in some ways more competitive at dealing with heroes like Lycan, who are also fast. So I think his build adjustment has been good here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And as we saw, I mean, you need to have at least one of the cores there on Secret to have the chance of bringing down Burning. Much too tanky for the supports, even Kezu on the offlane to deal with. They need that extra bit of damage.
I actually wonder if Secret, if they would have hexed on the Sven instead of shackling first, they might have killed him because he was able to get Warcry off, which made him basically invulnerable. Maybe they can work him down otherwise. Or at least get him lower.
Oh, look at this up top Puppey. Amid one finding OP, gets himself out of the smoke screen, turns around. The stun is going to be off point. The hook from Baboka isn't. Grabs mid one in the midst of it all with the magic missile, allowing Burning to move in for the hit. They should bring him down. Oh, mid one does find the Pudge with him, but it will be IG taking two as they find Puppey as well, post tricks of the trade.
I didn't see when Lina picked up this plate mail. It might have been right at the start of that fight.
I think it might
she
have been
looked
actually.
so tanky there.
Yeah.
At first I thought, oh, it's just because TA doesn't have Deso first, but he even got hit with Melt Strikes, I'm pretty sure. Surely he should have gone lower, but that plate mail pickup absolutely changed that gank if it was before. You could really see how hard to kill he was. The Secret was not expecting that. They overcommit. Pudge gets there in time. Perfect hook on the TA. And that gives him Roshan at 19 minutes into the game when Secret was not anticipating this tempo change.
No, MP and Kezu just turning up a little too late to do anything, and even if they were early, it might have been hard to. At the same time there was that kill happened by the Shrine, down bottom lane. Secret were able to finish off the tier 2. They also got a kill onto XSS on his Legion commander. Actually, interesting as well, Midas on the mind. He had the money for the Blink Dagger, but he said, screw it, I'm buying a straight up Midas. MP, big kill here for IG as they find him by their own H's, will be chain stunned. And Burning, Baboka and Q taking down the dog. That's a
big one.
That's a big freebie.
I didn't see how that fight started, how he got caught, but he did use Shapeshift to try to run to the Roshan pit in time. So there's also a possibility that this cascading of events got him killed on top of that. That's like 3 mistakes in a row maybe for Secret here. And now they might lose their tower in the mid. This game changed so much because of that gank that went wrong on Lina. Like almost everything changed.
That plate mail could be game.
Could be. And keep in mind the tempo that Secret chose to go with. They went Blink on the TA first so that he could combo with some of his other heroes for ganking. If that was just a straight deso, do a smoke gank, get a kill or two, and you take Roche on instantly. Like, if you have the TA, you're supposed to be the team that takes Roche really easily. And now that tempo went to IG. Just really a big testament to what's typical from them. They just beat other teams all the time.
Mid-one does have a bit of the dream rune here with the haste. OP kind of alone on this bottom. Straight up dropping the wards with their shackle. They'll get it. They're looking for more. Burning and Q already on the retreat. Mid-one looking for the chase down with this haste rune. As we see Burning, so much armor though. These hits barely doing anything. The hook actually brings Burning away of this puppy. Gets the 4-man smoke screen. BKB pop from Burning as he tries to man up, but Mid-one's just doing too much damage. Burning has to get himself out of there. The wolves will continue to chase him down. And a lot of damage coming through. We're seeing that once the war cry wears out, Burning still very vulnerable to the physical burst of Secret, and OP just has to kill himself.
Those were really good reactions from IG. The swap absolutely saving Burning's life there. So technically they only got a deny out of it, but...
Yeah, it seemed like Burning, I did believe the Wolves actually managed to finish him because the Aegis is gone.
Okay, so they were actually able to chase him down. That's right, I did see Wolves chasing him.
The Wolves did it.
So they got him at least. Definitely committed a lot to that, but it was all effective. Interesting item build as well in Abaddon, going for an AC this game. And he actually passed up the experience gain talent. I don't think I've ever seen that for an Abaddon.
So
the 20% experience gain is gotten consistently. 25 damage, though, does help him carry a bit harder. And with Vlad's into an AC build, it's going to make his overall damage a lot better with the 25 damage. So maybe that's the thought. And pretty consistently in this game, he's just been sitting bottom, pushing the lane. Like, he is the reason that Tier 2 tower is gone, as far as I'm concerned. That's because he can do that as well. Abaddon's just very safe at that. So kind of cool to see the playstyle difference. It's working out here, and it's going to make it so much easier when Secret's ready to go high ground. If you had, like, Midas into Radiance or something, completely different impact.
I mean, and looking at the lineups that both teams have, Secret very much much more suited to building towards this kind of... They don't want to take it late against IG's cause.
I think Lycan is pretty good late, but TA definitely falls off as the game goes ultra late, especially against a Pudge. You can't count on Refraction really being very useful at all stages of the game, so there's this like this period past 40 minutes where TA starts having some major issues and just doesn't look like a Sven or even a Lycan. Can they land a good hook though? This could be huge. If you can catch mid one.
Oh, that would be perfect. I mean,
massive.
Baboka has hit some good ones so far this game. Looking towards
Mid-1.
Oh, and he's got him. But you put the quick blink out. Mid-1 gets out in time before the rock bites through the refraction. Burning, ready for the chase though with the BKB. Looks towards Kezu. Mid-1, he's melded up, but the sentry's down. They've got the duel. They'll get the bonus damage. Surely Vexus says no. Mid-1 gets the kill. The DD is too strong. Finally goes down as Baboka finds the hook. There's a 1-for-1 at the moment. MP looking to make more of it as he goes for OP. Chases down the Lina. Baboka quick out with the TP, and the rest of IG do get away. But Secret, at the end of the day, getting a free dual damage, picking up a Q as well in the river, and taking 3 heroes just for the loss of Mid-1.
It's a great fight by them. I'm pretty sure that Mid-1 was ready for that. He had Refraction up, Hook doesn't do damage. That's why he gets to blink out instantly. But the crucial moment, I think, was Kezu just dominating that fight, instantly shielding and healing the TA to make sure he's at full HP because he knew he was going to get dueled. They end up getting the kill, and then he also removes the stun instantly from Lycan to guarantee the Lina kill. That's massive. I mean, he's got the respawn perk, but he's down to 4 Bloodstone charges right now. All the benefit of the Lina OP-ness respawning instantly, it's going away real fast. And Secret winning some crucial fights, taking that Tier 1 now. It's really going to help him close out the map and guarantee Roche advantage.
And of course, this is also going to become a bit of an issue for IG in these fights with MP looking to pick up a Diffusal Blade, Puppy as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly, where's your Raw Cry, man?
Yeah, that's a good point. Minus 20 armor for a Diffusal Blade, that's a pretty good trade-off.
Pretty value pickup.
Yeah. He pretty consistently has been going Diffusal. I saw him do this other Lycan games, but it's just the obvious. Guarantee slows, and they don't hard counter you with a Ghost Scepter. So anybody that does want to build into that item build is instantly countered. And they're not even close, because they all built Midas's mainly. So Diffusal will be a good pickup.
Well, Secret already coming in again to IG's jungle. The ward is down there from IG. They do know that there's something up. Oh, ward not quite getting dewarded in time there, so IG will maintain vision for a little longer around that area. Secret, what's their plan? I mean, how rushed do you feel that Secret should feel to make a high ground push happen?
They're fine right now, by all means. Winning that last engagement is good. They're always going to have the Riki advantage as well, so they've always are always going to have the hidden moving ward kind of a thing. at least until IG feels comfortable enough to buy a gem. So I think Secret has at least like 10 minutes here where they feel really comfortable. They're definitely going to want to control the map heavily until the next Roche, take Roche, and then go high ground. That's going to be Secret's timeline most likely. So we'll basically expect like Ricky to look for kills and some core in Secret to help him guarantee that. Maybe OP is going to be the target. Yeah, they get the disable off. Hex on Pilot Eye helping, or Blink on, helping a lot.
Yeah, mid-1 on his way in with the Meld Strike. More than enough damage to find OP, who does not get the chance. Bloodstone Suicide actually still on cooldown. Talking about that Bloodstone, now down to 2 charges. It's pretty painful for the Lina.
Yeah, that's really painful. It's okay that it doesn't give that much regen. He'll get by, but the lack of respawn, fast respawn, is going to hurt him. That's one of the cool things about Secret's lineup. Really, it just takes one of either support, either Ricky or the Shadow Shaman. They can kill almost any core, and it takes any of their cores other than Abaddon. So all of their pieces fit together so nicely in multiple different ways. It's the cool thing about Secret's draft. Even though they are countered by the Sven Warcry, as long as IG spread out, it's still really effective for Secret to get kills. And that helps buy them the time until Roche is up, and then they should be able to take Roche easy. Secret's definitely winning the game right now. This is looking a little scary for IG.
Mid-1 with Blink, Deso, BKB at a fantastic kind of power spike. It's going to be hard for the IG to deal with. They do have 2 forms of initiation, though, of course. They have XXS with his Blink. Burning's now finished up a Blink Dagger as well. So 2 ways that they can get in. I mean, who are the key heroes on Secret side that you think that these 2 need to be looking at disabling as they jump in?
Easiest target by far is Shadow Shaman. Low HP, he's got decent mobility with Blink Dagger, obviously, but that's the hero to kill, for sure. If you can stop him from disabling you for like 8 seconds during the fight, that changes things for sure. You know, the item I'm thinking about, mistake-wise, is definitely I'm looking at Legion's Midas. I feel like if that was a Blink, more tempo would have happened from IG, and that wouldn't have allowed Secret to get tempo in the last 5 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, with 27 minutes in a game and XXS, he's not won any duels. It's not ideal for a Legion.
Well, he did. He gave somebody.
He gave someone I gave mid-1 a bit of extra damage. Mid-1 sitting on the plus 14.
Yeah, Templar can use damage. I think that's pretty good for her.
It's decent.
Good for her.
But XXS certainly not finding the chances to get those big initiations and pick-offs that he would have loved to.
And it's not like he's bad at this here. This is definitely the hero he's known for. He played amazing at DAC using Legion Commander. But I think this is the first time I've seen him go Midas. And I think it's one of the things that happens sometimes. You'll take a hero that you're very comfortable with, and you'll try to adapt it to the expected current meta, and it changes up all your timings, which makes you play a little bit worse because your feel for the game is different because you have a Midas instead of a Blink Dagger at a reasonable time. So now he's playing this like, I'm sitting with my team, I don't have any dual damage, weird kind of playstyle. If this goes really late, Midas will pay off, definitely. But you know, they could have also just gotten ahead and played their normal game. So maybe it'll cost them, but we'll see. Puppey might break the smoke here.
It's been scanned out. They know that there's a movement coming in. Secret, so Puppey will just sit on the high ground. They'll see the action, and Secret will not be caught out by this movement.
It's a small mistake from IG there in that they needed a dust target to be towards the front, or better yet, give it the dust of Legion Commander would have been better because he's got the initiation. So.
And it's these wolves again. You know, it's still 20 minutes in the game. MP he has not stopped using the micro to make sure they know exactly what's up from IG. I mean, if you have the skill to do this, it's incredibly powerful having this vision just consistently up and wherever you want it throughout the game.
And it's not just those, it's also the TA traps as well. If you look at the positioning of all of them, they're all common spots that IG heroes are going to ward. They're places where Pudge might be standing. Their vision control is so good right now, and as long as they're kind of aware of when IG is going to smoke, and that one was kind of obvious because they knew Roche was coming up, then they just have to use Puppey to break it, and they can continue controlling the map and out-farming and buying the right items. So I actually really like what Secret's doing this game. No Midases, plain normal Dota. I want somebody in this tournament to show 3+ Midases is not okay, guys.
We might see Pi break that pattern. He's nearly got the goal for his Midas.
I'll let that one
allow
go.
That.
The 30-minute Shadow Shaman. He didn't get boots until like 4 minutes because Puppey's running around being greedy. So I'll let this one go. I'll always defend a late support Midas when you guys blink already.
Oh, XXS's Midas is it's off cooldown.
Inefficient.
Come on, XXS. There we go. Oh, feels good.
Mud Golems.
Feels good.
That's like the worst creep you can use it on. They give very little experience per individual.
It's all about the gold.
More so now, yeah, absolutely.
I get it, yeah, it depends what. Oh, Q, that's a free one. Comes up to the high ground. XXS is actually going to try and come in on this. Mid-1 just turns around with the mouse stroke, doesn't care about the blade mail, and oh no, I can't believe it. Once again, XXS throws his life away. Burning trapped up by the walls. It's a triple kill for Mid-1, and they get OP to kill himself as well.
Dude.
Secret once again. Is that Puppey with bonus dual damage, or did the...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a Ricky with plus 14.
Oh, my goodness. So, XXS still yet to win a duel. And Secret sitting on 2 duel victories so far. Down the mid lane, the tier 2's gone. And this is something as well that we didn't really talk about. The pushing power of this lineup is insane.
Yeah, and they've been building all the items for it, and they didn't get any Midases. They're just aiming for the game win right here. Maybe not, they don't have to win right now, but they won that team fight convincingly due to smart play, and they have the perfect items to just wreck these towers, instantly killing them. This is going to be a 2-Rax here. Maybe. At the least, I think they'll get the tier 3 tower. But with AC and
20
Adesso,
seconds, no Sven.
Is under attack.
they can poke it. It's going to be dangerous. Without BKB, yeah, they can't get hooked here. If Tia gets hooked, she dies, 100%. So they'll play it a little safe. They got a Rax at 30 minutes. That's very effective. They're closing out the map still. They still have TA traps everywhere. They've still got wolves everywhere. Their job is being done. And I'm looking at the Abaddon pick. Man, this is working out so well this game.
He's nearly got an Aghanims.
Yeah, he's safe in his lane, constantly pushing the safe lane, and he's been there for every big duel and guaranteed that his team got the duel damage. Like, it completely changes how effective Legion Commander is when an Abaddon can just pump out heals and shields on one guy so fast. It's like what Abaddon was made for originally, was keep this one guy alive, and against Legion, that is exactly what the hero does.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this Legion just struggling so much to find. I mean, what can you do as XXS in this sort of situation?
It's
How
a weird,
do you find a use?
It's a weird problem to solve. You have to prevent Abaddon from casting heals and shield on an ally. It's not like you can just get Blade Mail and be like, oh, he's too strong, we'll Blade Mail it back. It doesn't work because you're healing that guy and you're putting a shield on him that only reflects 200 of the damage.
We see XXS trying to jump in there. Will find Puppey. I'll take the Ricky at least. Burning's pot the BKB and God Strength for this. They'd love to find more. They'll get the hook onto Kezu. But mid one just jumps in and 2 shots down. The fat boy looks towards Q. They'll be able to pick up the Venge as well. A double kill for mid one, as his role in this game continues to be an incredibly strong one. Burning will bring down Pi, but now with the Diffusal Blade charges, just zoning Burning, controlling him out. It's triple kill for mid one, and they're moving on for more. This could be Rampage territory. No, but Boca will make sure there's no more bloodshed on IG as he hooks back.
The profits of the Pudge Midas.
says he's going to lose another duel. He jumps in, gives away his life to mid one. There's the Ultra. Give the man the Rampage. There we have it. GG is called, and Secret. I mean, what would you? Was this just outplay? Was this an outdraft?
This is an outdraft, an outplay, and out strategy right here. Like, this is the culmination of all the Midas purchases of this tournament so far, and Secret being like, hey,
screw Midas.
Everyone is buying way too many Midases on heroes that they shouldn't be buying Midas on, and we're just going to run a strat that's effective in the laning stage and just is built entirely for the mid game. Because now we saw the value of Pudge Midas there. It was him buying back into the game because they were losing. Whereas if he just had like a medallion or a blade mail or any kind of survivability item, he wouldn't have gone 2-shot from the TA before he could even get close to reacting. Like, that was, the game ended instantly there because of their greedy item builds, and it was also in a hard place in the first time because they didn't have tempo controllers because they bought Midas on the Legion Commander. Like, really well played from Secret. They completely methodically played that game better. The only thing they didn't do better, in my opinion, was like that one gank on Lina that really screwed up their tempo, but they completely got back into the game and played the game right, and they built the perfect items to just close it out real easy.
And I've got just a perfect show as well of just mid one skill. I mean, 18-4-4 on the TA, played the lane perfectly, and I mean, obviously a lot of it was down to his team setting up the potential to get these kills, but the TA pick was absolutely devastating. And in a game where RG were probably like, we got a Sven and we got Warcry, but Diffusal Blade at the end as well, we saw just how much that did. Taking that Warcry away, just it breaks the hero.
Yeah, it made Sven really useless. And Kezu, great stats, 0-0-11. That's the Abaddon dream.
Absolutely. But there we have it. Secret taking down IG in the first game. Can they do it in a whole series, though? IG is this, this monster that we've seen since DAC pool. And surely they're going to be able to bring it back and give us a second and a third game. But, well, there we have it. Game 1, Secret, looking pretty dominating, Red.
Yes, they are indeed, Owen. We'll return back to our commentaries in Mavone and Purge, of course, for game number 2. But there it is, in the record books, and Secret have finally put a marker down. Maybe they've shut up our panel after writing them off in game 1, where all 3 of them predicted IG.
Should have went with my brain.
Should have gone with the brain. Yeah, should have gone with the brain. Joking aside, great display from Secret. Have they confirmed to you now that they are a legitimate possibility to win this major, or is this just group stages?
They had a really good strategy going into this game. They abused something about IG that we haven't really talked about. They removed the Monkey King, took the Riki themselves, and that limited the heroes that Baboka can play. We saw in this game, Baboka could not play the way that he normally would want to. He's actually not really this like super ganking kind of guy, but more of this giving vision for his allies so these ganks can happen. And if you look at Secret's lineup, they actually have 3 vision heroes. They had a Riki, who can just run around like a moving ward. They had Wolves from Lycan, also the same thing. And then they had Templar Assassin traps. And whenever IG walked over any of these 3 things, Secret already knew what was going to happen next, and they were already ready to split push, get their farm on, and every time IG wanted to smoke, they couldn't land a single one this entire game. So I think the name of the game was Vision, and IG could not create it in any way, and Secret exploited that the best they can.
Ben?
I also think Abba can be considered a vision hero in this game too. Like he just parked himself in a lane and didn't really concede any ground in that. And I think you get a lot of information about how they choose to deal with the Abba.
I was sorry to interrupt you, but the Abba like did 5k hero damage the entire game, the lowest of like any player like on the Dire team by a big margin. He had 0 kills, 0 deaths, and 11 assists, but he just sits there like chilling, you know? Like you got to address this Abaddon is the problem. He's just pushing your towers one after the other.
And he went for a very heavy team fight build too with the AC and the Vlads, which was incredibly strong versus the lineup. And mid one, as usual, played very well, did a ton of damage.
did 9.4k things.
Yeah.
All the way through.
And LC actually seemed very useless, especially in this fight. He duels and just gets destroyed. They needed to spend it a little bit earlier. But even Sven gets destroyed during BKB, and that's a bad sign.
Yeah, we sort of talked about at the start that IG is pretty good at playing against Abaddon or whatever, but probably there's a big, how do you say, similarity with the heroes that Baboka plays and how they can punish this offlaners.
Right.
So in this game, he's playing Pudge. Okay, sure, he can be in the Abaddon lane for a little bit, but he needs to start roaming. He needs to like land these hooks. He needs to get these kills. But that's just doesn't feel like it was his style in this game. We saw his Pudge. He wasn't able to land these hooks. And of course, the biggest part is that they can always see him. And if you can see him, it's very hard to play Pudge. But they had a very good strategy going into this game. They singled him out. They removed all of his key heroes and put him in a very awkward position. And I think IG had a very hard time to play the game from there already.
Okay. In terms of the way that the scoreboard shows the the victory for Secret in game 1, we've talked about one side of it, Gods, in terms of, is this Secret putting down a marker against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world? Likewise, I'm going to ask it the other way around. Is this IG playing around a little bit with the draft and with different heroes and with different people on different heroes in different lanes? Is this them just trying things out?
I'd say no. I think IG's not a team who, like, there's some experimental teams who we've seen do some niche picks and some unusual stuff, but IG's not one of them. We're seeing them stick to their drafts. They ended up on a different hero for Baboka, but that's because Secret pushed them that direction. Secret's like, you're not going to get the Monkey King, you're not going to get the Riki. So in the end, Baboka had to play a different hero. He's on the Pudge, he's not as comfortable, and I think for IG, the one thing that perhaps they didn't really stick to themselves is they were a bit greedy than normal. They went for 2 Midases on Legion and Pudge, and Secret 0 Midas across the board. I think there's been some like ongoing jokes about this being the Midas major, lots of greed. Secret's a team, and IG's also a team. These are probably the 2 teams playing the fastest pace, buying the least Midases, but IG perhaps got a bit carried away. The Pudge ends the game with just Midas Tranquil Boots. The Legion commander has Midas Blink, only gets a Blade Mail at the very end. So I feel like these Midases were perhaps a bit of a mistake from the IG side, because Secret was taking towers, fighting them, and they had Midases on a Pudge, Midas on a Legion. Like, these items don't give either of those heroes anything.
Yeah, 120 Midas picked yesterday. 120 Midas in 39 games. Let's talk about MVP now. Ben, have you got any particular player from the Secret side that stood out for you? Other than mid one?
I think most of them just did their job. The strategy was very, very sound.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Puppy. I think
You like Puppy?
Yeah. I think he was where he needed to be. I think also MP with the Wolves. I think that's one thing that he's incredibly good about with the Lycan play is his Wolf scouting. But
it's 2 out of 2 for the Lycan with Team Secret as well. Now they've perhaps revealed something. Do you think? Is it a pocket pick for them?
They like those weird heroes for MVP though.
Well,
Yeah.
they definitely know something that other teams don't about the Lycan, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to net them some wins here and there, and we can see it. I mean, they just beat the favorites, we can say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, they were the top seed coming in, and I think most people's favourites to win the whole tournament, gods, weren't they? IG.
I think either IG or OG. It's
Yeah,
kind of one
always
or the
one
other.
or the other.
I mean, IG had bested OG more recently, but OG, win majors. So I think anyone not saying IG or OG is probably taking a bit of a chance hedging their bets on some team who realistically is an underdog. But Secret's one of those teams that I think very few people would have had in the top 2, top 3.
Well, you called it before the tournament started, right? The dark horse of the
Had him in the top 4.
Kiev major.
One of the few. I took all the laughs from the other players and the other talent that went. Red Eye knows nothing. Top 4. Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, we'll just wait until the semi-finals and see
Keep
where
in
they
mind,
get through.
top
Because this
seed-
is just group stage. We shouldn't
Yeah.
get too carried away right now. They could end up winning this 2-0 and then going 3-0 overall, being a top seed, and then going out in the round of 16. That's how harsh it is when you get knockout stages, right?
And Secret, like, they've had a lot of streaks in the past.
Yeah.
Where, throughout since the time they started, and there are points where if they lose at some point, it sort of just
Unravels.
spirals
Yeah.
downwards rather quickly. So, and we saw that at the Boston major qualifiers, they were destroying the group stage, and then they lose the first game in their in the top 4, and that's it. They were just out after 2 series.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You
can
didn't
happen.
even know what happened.
Can happen to the best teams here as well. Let's check in with our Reddit thread right now. You've been placing your questions once more. We do encourage you to put some more in there as well. We'll try and get through as many as we can. Let's the latest one. What hero has the best lore, and do you have any lore theories? That's from a guy called Sir Action Slacks. Any ideas? This sounds like the perfect
This is
Sir
the
Action
wrong
Slacks. It's the perfect Sir Action Slacks question, isn't it? Where is he when we need him?
It's like he asked the question himself.
Yeah, bizarre, weird. Any lore things, gods? Have you got any cool ones? Have you seen his videos on these?
I have actually.
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely nothing about lore until some of his videos.
the only lore I know is well, I know a few, but the one that comes to mind is like Rubik.
Right.
How he is like this wizard or whatever, and he became the best. He could like steal other people's spells and then use them. And what happened was he would use their spells, and then their allies would think that their own their allies would think they turned on him.
Right.
Right. So then they would fight each other.
Okay.
And that's how all the fights broke out, when Rubik would steal a spell and cast it,
Right.
or like copy a spell and cast it.
Yeah, the only one I know is Pudge.
Pudge.
Yeah, he
What's
owned a
lore?
butcher's shop, and he used to like the sausages, so he ate a lot of the sausages, so he got a bit big. And then one afternoon he went into the back and unfortunately got his hand trapped on a hook. And it just got stuck to him, so he just kept throwing it away and it kept coming back to him. It's just weird.
Wait, is that real? I don't know. I'm not.
Trolled PPD at DAC, trolled 1437 at the Kiev Major. Let's take another social media question. We do enjoy these, by the way, so do keep them coming. They keep the panel alive between the matches, and obviously we are trying to answer as many as we can. City or country, where would you like to attend a Dota 2 tournament? We were actually talking about this the other day, very casually, at the hotel. Now, I'm with Conrad on this. Conrad thinks the next major should be in the Bahamas. I'm okay with this.
Mine is Australia, definitely.
Yeah.
Australia would be
Yeah,
great.
I've heard great things
I'm
about
not
it.
just saying that because Gods is here, but I genuinely
Yeah.
would love a major in Australia. I would also, I kind of root for the South Africans, so I'm going to say I'd like a major in either Johannesburg or Cape Town. That would be amazing. You guys would love South Africa, trust me. Fabulous place.
Knoxville has some weird stories about South Africa.
Ignore
I don't
him.
know if
He's
I-
just weird. He's just weird. He's not South African really, he's just weird. So yeah, ignore any stories he comes out with. It's a fabulous place. What do you think? Timmy, anywhere?
I mean, backyard, South Africa, it's all the same, right?
No, no, it's not. It's not. the same. Think of the Bahamas. Like we have the Bahamas Major, right?
I think he was just flaming South Africa.
Bit of no,
it was not flaming
Bit
South
of, bit,
Africa.
of, bit of Dota 2 during the day. Some great, play, high level play, great teams, everything else. Evening, out on the beach, relaxing, pure sea, clear as the eye can see. relaxed.
Paul, what time did we finish work
It
yesterday?
was about midnight.
Yeah. I don't think you can see much of the
No.
sea then.
No, you're right.
Swimming at midnight.
Okay, yeah, no.
No.
Do they have good internet infrastructure in those tropical places, though? I don't actually know if they do.
No.
That could be an issue.
I think you're killing his dreams.
I
as
think
we
it'd be
speak.
really cool to have a South American one because I think a lot
They
of
would
the
be
Magic, like some of
fanatical.
the most memorable, like for me, majors moments have like Manila Major with the crowd there
Yeah.
was just absolutely amazing. I think you'd get something very similar in South America.
Yeah.
With the fans there, just how crazy they are about Dota. It's just like a very different environment and
Yep.
atmosphere.
Yep, I've been lucky enough to go to Brazil a couple of times with CS. They're absolutely crazy for their esports out in Brazil and in many other places. Obviously, Peru with Dota 2 as well. Mexico. I don't know. I mean, I'm just as long as we go somewhere different every time, right?
I think I just haven't reached
Timmy
that
doesn't care.
age
He just
where
doesn't
I
care.
can enjoy those things quite yet, you know. I'm just here, you know. I'm all about the Dota.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
we
it
are
is.
too. But you know, it's nice to be able to go out at midnight when we finish.
I agree.
Okay. Does it get weird all of a sudden? Let's get back to the Dota 2 and talk about our second upcoming draft. What are you expecting, IG, to experiment a bit more here? And
I expect IG to have first pick,
okay.
so which is important. Which I
Yeah.
think Secret might actually just ban Riki and Monkey King instead of CM. Right.
What about Treant though? Have we seen the
No.
Boca Treant?
Usually IG ban Treant
Yeah.
most of the time.
Wonder if they'll first pick it then.
They'll probably ban Treant, and I don't know what they're gonna.
How
first
OP
pick.
is Treant, do you think? Like I've heard like all kinds of people like
So
varied opinions on the hero.
mediocre.
It's. I mean, it's
He's
still
still
not the greatest win rate here. It's not dominating in any way. It's not taking over games. But there's only been 2 games where it wasn't picked or banned yet, which just seems. It's kind of like
Well,
PL level.
it's in the unknown, right? You're just like not really too sure of how strong it is, but at the same time, you don't want to give it to
Right.
anyone.
In case it's
So-
too strong.
Right, exactly. And if that's the situation, that's what you're gonna end up with. It's just gonna be permanently banned or first pick because you don't want the enemy to take
Yeah.
it. And he's still a vision hero, very important right now, and a team fighter. So he fits a couple of criteria that are extremely important for the support role. So why not?
Yeah.